Thank you so much for joining us today. To kick it off, do you mind giving a brief intro of who you are and how you use interactive demos at Fivetran?
Sounds great. Thanks for having me. My name is Keena, and I'm a senior growth marketing manager at Fivetran, working under the digital campaigns and acquisitions team. And yeah, as you know, there are a variety of use cases for Novatic demos, but we primarily use them to guide prospects from the consideration stage into conversion. And something we launched recently was an interactive demo landing page.
Yeah, I was really excited about this one because I think a common question we get is how do I make an interactive demo that shows the data or end state, especially in an integration, if my product itself is a little more the back end? So, can you explain a little bit how you use that landing page to show off how Fivetran works in maybe a few different systems?
Yeah, so we selected one connector. We just chose like our most popular one, and we just wanted to show for prospecting audience, we wanted to highlight like certain features that we know that our customers love.
Curious if there was any worries of showing off this connection front and center on the website, or to your point about like educating prospects, it just makes sense that we want as many eyeballs as possible.
Yeah, I think that's like two things to consider before like building out a demo is one, how are people going to get to the page? And also like what do you want them to do after they have viewed the demo? So I think that also helps with outlining like the content and the language that you use and also like CTA planning of the last final step of the demo. In terms of audience, what helped build this demo is just also getting feedback from different people on our team. So we took feedback from sales, product marketing, and that really helped kind of like find a balance between like what to highlight and what to say.
Would love to walk through that process of, you talked to other teams, you got feedback. How did you go from getting there, all of the ideas, to end result of an interactive demo?
In terms of just like the building process itself, like the nice thing about Novatic is that you can just like copy over captures to create a new demo. So I would just advise like the first time you build one is to like capture every screen that you'll need because once created, it's like really simple to edit within Novatic itself. Even further, like in terms of like strategy and creating a demo landing page, we thought just like more about the audience and like what stage of the funnel they're in. We have like demos that share kind of our onboarding process, and those in contrast are very like quick, get to the point. Like we want to show that this is a very simple process, whereas like our more prospecting ones, they show features that we know our customers like. And so it's kind of just like a balance between length and showing off things that we want to highlight. And a lot of that is just based off of like feedback from other members of the team that can really help like condense the length and consolidate a lot of the steps.
Awesome. I feel like, yeah, whenever I hear marketers building out the demo, it can be tempting to want to show as much as possible.
Yeah.
So getting a little bit of that feedback, be like, no, this is really the core aha moments we need to focus in on. You already gave some really great tips as far as you mentioned, like cloning, taking as many captures as possible. I'm curious if you had someone brand new on your team, so like a Nevada newbie, what are maybe one or two tips you'd give them for building out demos?
I would also just like to plug like the Novatic blog. I think they have like great resources on like best practices to set up a demo, but also like great suggestions on where to utilize like this sort of page. So definitely would direct them there first. And then also just like some very basic practical tips is to like utilize some sort of naming convention for each step and each capture. I think that saves a lot of time.
Last question for me for today. Just curious if you have any like feedback or stats that you could share about how the interactive demos have performed.
Yeah, so far we've seen that users who have viewed the interactive demo page are almost 4 times as likely to convert versus users who did not see the demo. And then in terms of like CTA, by adding a primary and secondary CTA as the final step of our demo, we have a 58% click through rate.
That's awesome. That's an incredible click-through rate, and I think for our top performing demos, on average, we see about 30%. So the fact that you're hovering over 60% is 2 times basically the top 1% average. So kudos to you guys. That's great.
That's great to hear.